In 2020, I had to receive a heart ablation from developing SVT. When researching doctors to perform this procedure, I noticed many things. Some did massive amounts of research. They studied, they had papers, they were well known, they knew their stuff, while others claimed to have performed thousands of these procedures with high success. So when choosing a doctor, who would you choose? You know, the person that's going to be sticking these wires in your body and literally burn parts of your heart? The one who's written lots of books and has a lot of papers and is just really smart? Or the one who's done the work time and time and time and time again? I'm guessing you'd pick the one who has done the procedure with success. So why am I bringing this up? Because I know many are really good at having all the knowledge of how to do treatment, how to do exposures for their OCD. They read forums, they watch videos like this. Hey, thanks by the way for being here, stick around. And they read books, but this isn't gonna make them better. Doing the work will. But many question, how much work do I need to put in to actually get better? Well, and that's exactly what we're gonna go through today, because I want you to know the frequency of treatment that matters and how you're gonna be successful. I'll show you how to make ERP a part of your daily life and speed up your recovery. Just doing one exposure a week is not enough. Spoiler alert, think about learning the piano. If you practice just one time a month, would you ever get better? Probably not. But here's the real problem. You're doing 30 compulsions every day or more, and maybe one exposure a week. That math does not work. That's 210 compulsions for one exposure a week. Your brain is getting 210 lessons in the wrong response and one lesson in the right one. Think about that. Every time you give into a compulsion, you're strengthening this OCD pathway in your brain. But ERP helps you create new, healthier pathways if you do it often enough. Studies have shown that up to 80% of people who do ERP regularly see symptoms drop by 60 to 70%. But the key is regularly. Think of it this way. Every compulsion adds a brick to your OCD wall. Every exposure takes one away. So with this 210 to 1 ratio, this wall keeps getting stronger, not weaker. I mean, it doesn't always need to be 1-to-1 though. You've been doing compulsions for 5 years doesn't mean you're doing 5 years of exposures. ERP is a skill. Just like anything, it needs practice. You wouldn't expect to learn a language by practicing it once a week, right? You can live in a foreign country and not learn the language. You can be there for years and still not know it, unless you actually put in the work to make it happen. So then how much ERP is enough? Well, there's no magic number that works for everyone, but there is a simple formula that works pretty well. Try to match your exposure time with compulsion time. If you spend about an hour each day doing a compulsion, aim to balance that with an hour of intentional exposures. This creates this counterbalance effect. You're training your brain in a new direction. And many people are like, well, I don't have that time. Yes, you do. You know why? Because you're spending that time doing compulsions. We're replacing that. Think of athletes. They are practicing hundreds of times before they do that one competition. They train specific movements daily until they become automatic. And your brain works the same way. For mild OCD, maybe you try 20 to 30 minutes a day. Moderate, you can find that sweet spot. Maybe it's an hour. Severe OCD, it might be 2 hours a day. And I'm not saying 2 hours just sit there and torture for 2 hours straight. I mean, you could, but you could break this up throughout the day. But it's knowing your what are you gonna do? What is the exposure I'm gonna do? I'm gonna plan it out and have it in a calendar. Here's this, here's this, here's this. If you don't know how to create exposures, I've got that in my Mastery OCD course. Go check that out down below in the description. But we know each exposure is gonna weaken this anxiety, teach your brain something new, and that's what I want for you. So let's create your exposure map. List out all your triggers, rank them from 1 to 10. 1 means it's not really causing that much distress, and 10 is like, this is the worst thing in the world. Set up reminders, because this becomes your personal roadmap. You know what you're gonna be working toward. And then you set reminders. Your brain never forgets to remind you to do compulsions, so let's create a powerful system to remind you to do exposures. Maybe you're setting alarms, you're putting sticky notes up. I've even had some people say they pull those stickers places that say, walk away, man, or maybe not. Turn daily activities into practice opportunities. If you have contamination fears, you purposely touch that door handle in the bathroom and you wait before washing. If you have just right, you leave a cabinet slightly ajar. Harm OCD, you touch objects that make you nervous. You find the thing that causes distress for you and we go do it. And I don't know, the thought is like, but what if I gave into this thing? What if I actually, Maybe. You might. We'll see. Because the hours of compulsions are not worth it. I know. I make it sound easier than it really is. But you might find an accountability partner to help you. Who is your buddy? Someone you can trust, that you can boast about your success with. If you're doing exposures for 2 hours a day, I want someone to know about it. This is hard work. Try the rule of 3. Each morning, pick 3 activities that you can turn into an exposure. I know I'm going to work. I know I'm going to the store. I know I'm going to my friend's house. What can I do at each one of these places that I normally would kind of avoid? And I'm gonna change something about it. Change something means right when I get to my friend's house, I'm gonna sit on that couch I never wanted to sit on, and I'm gonna love it, and I'm gonna enjoy it, and this is gonna be great. And I'm gonna use a lot of responses like, oh, this is awesome. I hope I get super sick from this. This is great, awesome. Maybe I'm contaminating it. This is awesome. I love this feeling. So cool, love it. I wanna change my response to it, and you're gonna forget you're sitting on that darn couch. You might learn to live an ERP lifestyle, which means small, consistent, daily exposures that just remind your brain that you got this. This thing that used to bother you doesn't bother you. I'm gonna do it every single day, even if it doesn't bother me anymore. So maybe for the next 24 hours, you track every compulsion you're doing, then you match it with an exposure plan. Instead of me avoiding this door handle, I'm gonna touch it. Instead of me avoiding my relationship, I'm gonna make sure to text them. Instead of me avoiding my scriptures because it causes anxiety, I'm gonna make sure I read them, and maybe even incorrectly. I don't wanna notice my breathing because it causes anxiety. I'm gonna notice that darn breathing, man. I'm gonna love it. Sometimes we just play the opposite game with it. While I didn't go into specifically how to create your exposure plan, that's down in my course, and I've got plenty of videos for that as well, but man, this thing's worth it. ERP. Let's go. There is another video here. I'd love you to watch, because I forgot what I'm saying here, but go watch it. It's gonna enhance your skills. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. When researching doctors, but many question, so you've been doing compulsions for 5 years, doesn't mean you've got to do